right, it is Tuesday, April 4th, and Donald Trump is in Manhattan, New York, and at some time today, he will be turning himself in, and things will get moving. But it hasn't happened yet. We're still waiting. But I did see this article that came out today. Trump has been indicted. Here's what to know. And it just kind of breaks some things down and gives some information that you might not have known, some things I didn't know. So let's check it out. Former President Donald Trump has been indicted on charges related to his alleged role in paying hush money to porn star Stormy Daniels ahead of the 2016 presidential election. So this is a while ago. Trump will be arraigned Tuesday in Manhattan, that's today, but because of his status as a former president, the arraignment will be a little different than usual. Here's what to know. What is the process? Trump will arrive at the courthouse early this afternoon to be booked by the investigators. This process includes taking fingerprints, but will likely not include a mugshot. Oh, man. That's actually smart, because I was thinking if Trump got mugshots taken, his street cred and cool points would be through the roof. Like, especially if those mugshots started circulating and everyone got a hold of them. Like, we're talking about a former president and someone running for president. So in one sense, like, that's really bad. But in another sense, just the street cred, man. All right. Normally a mugshot would be taken, but authorities are concerned that it could be leaked, a violation of state law, and thus it may not be taken. All right. It probably would be leaked. Not sure what's so bad about that, though. Trump will not be held in a cell before he's arraigned, nor will he be handcuffed. He'll also be accompanied by Secret Service throughout the process. Once in the courtroom, Trump will be arraigned. He is expected to plead not guilty. Well, duh. All right, next thing. Will he be sent to jail? Almost certainly not. Trump will probably be released on his own recognizance. Let's check this word out. Recognizance. A bond by which a person undertakes before a court or magistrate to observe some condition, especially to appear when summoned. All right, I still don't get it, but it's like a bond of some kind. Recognizance rhymes with, or sounds like recognition, so maybe he doesn't have to pay a money bond. He's like, we all know who you are. You're not going to be able to hide if you don't come back to court. Could you imagine Trump trying to hide? No one in the world looks like him in any way at all. He's the most recognizable person on earth. All right. Trump will probably be released on his own recognizance, though there may be some restrictions set on his travel. After arraignment, Trump will be walked through back corridors to leave the courthouse building, where he will get in his motorcade to the airport and fly back to his home in Mar-a-Lago. Will his arraignment be televised? No, although cameras are allowed in the court. Blah, 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 blah. 5 photographers will be allowed in the room before the arraignment to take still photos. And then when the arraignment begins, no photographs. When will the trial begin? That's unclear, since we only are at the arraignment stage. A trial could be weeks or months away, if this goes to trial in the first place. Can Trump get the case tossed? Trump and his attorneys will likely file a motion to dismiss and will attempt to challenge the charges against him, including arguing that the statute of limitations has expired for this case since the hush money was allegedly paid 7 years ago. That's a good point. This is old. If you were going to take him to trial, why wait this long? You got to catch people when they're hot, when they just did it. What kind of punishment is Trump facing? Until the indictment is unsealed, we won't know what the charges Trump is actually facing and what penalties those charges carry if Trump is found guilty. Will Trump have a criminal record? Even if Trump is acquitted, the arrest will always be public record, and it is unlikely media outlets will ever let that go. Of course. When will the indictment be unsealed? When Trump is arraigned. Okay, that was an easy one. Are 34 charges a lot? Okay, so it's 34 charges. It seems like a lot, but it's not unusual, and because they all apparently stem from the same underlying crime, it's likely District Attorney Alvin Bragg padded the indictment in the hopes of getting something to stick. Oh, that's interesting. I wonder if that's like a thing. Like if you're being brought in for one crime, but there's a lot of charges, if that means you've got a weak case and you need a lot to try to get something to stick, like something to go to work with. So like if Trump were being brought in and instead of 34 charges, there were like 5 or 6, that could actually be a bad sign. Like, oh, they don't need to pad it. They got some serious charges here. Or it could also mean you did 34 bad things and they could all be legit. Who knows? Curious. If you're a lawyer, let me know if these numbers indicate something. What else is Trump facing? Trump is also being investigated for the classified documents found in his home in Florida, as well as an investigation in Washington, D.C. as to whether he committed a crime while trying to halt the results of the 2020 election. Georgia officials are also investigating whether he or his allies illegally interfered in the state's 2020 election. Georgia's electoral votes went to President Joe Biden that year. Trump is also being sued by columnist E. Jean Carroll, who claims Trump raped her in the 1990s. In the 1990s. Trump denies the claim, and the only evidence presented so far to support Carroll's allegations is her own word. All right, well, that's stupid. Look, if you get raped, I mean, in the 1990s, you bring it up now, it's too late. Sorry, it's awful if it happened to you, but it's too late. Like, if that happens to you, ladies, if that happens to you, you go to the police immediately. You get some sort of paperwork done. So it's you can't just, 30 years later bring something up, whether it's true or false. Doesn't matter. It's been 30 years. I mean, 30 years later we're going to gather and collect evidence on it? It's insane. All right, so that's the article. Anyway, this is a pretty big day. A lot of people looking at Trump right now. I'm sure everyone's having a good time in the media, getting Trump on something, and we'll see what happens. Whatever happens, it's only hurting the Democrats' chance to win the next election, because all of this stuff just makes Trump look like a badass. And it kind of fits the characterization of Trump also. I think if you want to defeat Trump, you would not want any of this. You wouldn't want to give him any kind of press. You wouldn't want him in the news at all. You would want to try to minimize his presence and kind of ignore him. Let him kind of fade away and disappear. I think all of this is only going to help him in the next upcoming election. But that's just my thoughts.